The movie opens with a skilled sniper tracking a drug kingpin in his mansion, patiently waiting for the perfect moment. The sniper finally takes the shot, splattering the target's head while screams echo from the nearby room where a woman had been waiting. Meanwhile, in Springfield, Virginia, a troubled soldier, his military uniform carefully arranged on the bed, grapples with dark thoughts as he flips through photos of his time in the army. Unable to find solace, he attempts to reach out for help, but finds no one to connect with. Succumbing to his despair, he tragically takes his own life, honored with a gun salute at his funeral. Master Sergeant Brandon attends the soldier's funeral, questioning how someone esteemed in the military could resort to such an act. Concerned that he might suffer a similar fate, Brandon receives a visit from Major Richard Miller. He fears the intentions behind Miller's visit, anticipating an offer he's not ready for. Despite Brandon's preemptive refusal, Miller mentions Brandon's positive fitness evaluation and proposes deploying him to Colombia, assigned to join an international task force under the Department of Defense, overseen by Brandon's father, Thomas Beckett. Despite his initial reluctance, Brandon ultimately consents to join the task force, feeling compelled by Miller's mention of a waiting flight. Upon arrival in Colombia, Brandon is driven to the task force headquarters by Walsh, a Marine sniper with a history of 63 confirmed kills. When he arrives at the National Police headquarters, Brandon meets Santiago, his new spotter, and Colombia's esteemed law enforcer. Captain Hector Garza, the head of the drug trafficking task force, surprises Brandon by revealing that his father came out of retirement for this operation. Garza hands Brandon a file detailing Jesus Morales, a notorious cartel leader involved in various criminal activities. Morales, after a decade in hiding, has resurfaced and started eliminating his rivals so he can reclaim control over the criminal underworld. The task force zeroes in on a specific sniper hit on a drug kingpin, an act suggesting an exceptional sniper, either possibly military or retired, whose actions might elevate Morales' status. The task force gathers intel on Morales' suspected hideout, planning a mission under Brandon's vigilant oversight to counter the sniper. However, when DEA agent Kate Estrada arrives, she becomes enraged that the meeting began without her presence. Tasked with leading the mission against Morales, Kate abruptly moves the operation a day earlier, disregarding Brandon's need for reconnaissance and preparation. Kate insists on capturing or eliminating Morales the next day, prompting a discussion between her and Brandon. She seeks assurance of Brandon's capability to watch her back during the critical mission scheduled for the next day. Brandon and Santiago, concealed in full camouflage, meticulously survey the area, concerned about the challenge of spotting their elusive sniper in the wide open space. On the other side, Kate, Captain Garza, and the tactical team, outfitted in full gear, obtain satellite imagery of Morales' residence. Back at headquarters, Thomas collaborates with DHS agent John Sampson, who expresses doubts about the credibility of the gathered intelligence, fearing potential harm to agents. However, with Kate leading the operation and her decision already made, Thomas finds himself unable to intervene. As the tactical team approaches the house, splitting into units to encircle the building, Brandon and Santiago scan the tree line in hopes of catching sight of their elusive target. Kate communicates, confirming a clear path for their assault and advising cautious progression. Despite the units closing in on the house and no signs of life, Kate signals an advance forward. The first team enters the house, but a devastating explosion rips through the structure, claiming multiple agents' lives and leaving others injured. Garza sustains injuries, and as Kate moves to assist him, the enemy sniper takes aim, striking him in the leg, causing him to collapse. Brandon begins searching, and Kate, determined, rushes to aid Garza. Suddenly, the enemy sniper fires another shot, twisting in midair and tearing apart Garza's face in a gruesome display. Santiago quickly identifies the sniper's location, prompting Brandon to take a shot, nearly hitting the sniper and forcing him to flee. Rushing to aid Kate, who's in shock, Santiago communicates Garza's tragic demise over the radios. Later, Agent Sampson presses for answers regarding the operation's failure. Kate acknowledges it as a setup and suspects a mole within the police force. Thomas alerts the team that the sniper poses a significant threat based on his precision strikes. Brandon deduces that the sniper's actual target was Kate, and Garza unintentionally interfered. Amid discussions, Sampson suggests withdrawing from the Morales operation due to its heightened danger. However, Kate expresses frustration at the potential loss of her hard-earned progress. Brandon requests an additional 48 hours to pursue Morales and the sniper. Thomas consents to the extension, but after the meeting, he cautions Brandon to remain vigilant, as the sniper appears to have comprehensive knowledge about him. The team relocates operations to a safe house, where Brandon expresses concern to Walsh about their vulnerability to a sniper attack. However, Walsh remains confident in their safety. Meanwhile, a sniper known as El Diablo receives a call, obtaining information about Kate's whereabouts at the safe house alongside the American sniper. When Brandon is reviewing the file of the soldier who tragically took his own life, Kate visits him to express gratitude for his support and shared determination to pursue Morales. Seeking guidance on coping with the loss of a comrade, Kate looks to Brandon for advice. He encourages her to focus on the positive impact she's making. Discussing Garza's death, Kate expresses concern over the seemingly impossible shot that killed him. considering the sniper's position. Despite Kate's relentless pursuit of Morales, Brandon cautions her about the dangers of fixating solely on that goal, warning that such tunnel vision could result in further casualties. Kate, angered by the discussion, storms out of the room. As Kate heads to a bar, she encounters two individuals who attempt to engage her in conversation, but Kate swiftly neutralizes them. She meets with her friend and informant father, Carlos. He advises her to halt her pursuit of Morales to prevent further casualties, but Kate remains resolute in her determination to take Morales down. Father Carlos discloses the sniper's identity and his connection to Morales, promising to provide more details soon. Before leaving, Carlos warns Kate against placing trust in anyone. Back at the safe house, Santiago alerts Brandon about suspicious activity across the street. Brandon, armed with his rifle, rushes to the roof following Santiago's directions. He spots a glare in the distance, identifying El Diablo, positioned 1,750 meters away. As the two snipers target each other, Brandon takes the first shot. El Diablo evades and retaliates, his bullet tracking Brandon, who swiftly seeks cover. El Diablo assumes he has eliminated Brandon and retreats. The following day, Thomas and the team arrive at the scene, recovering El Diablo's round, which turns out to be a laser-guided projectile, indicating a highly sophisticated attack method. The team receives a briefing on the sophisticated technology of the smart bullet, tracing its origins to a U.S. government asset. Meanwhile, at a secret mansion, Morales orders his subordinate to mobilize all available resources to pursue Brandon. As Morales heads to his office, he's unexpectedly confronted by El Diablo, holding him at gunpoint, demanding payment for Brandon's supposed demise. However, Morales reveals that Brandon is still alive, boldly dismissing El Diablo. Later, Kate receives a call from Father Carlos, who shares crucial information about a place El Diablo frequents, warning her to exercise caution. But their vehicle is violently struck by a truck, causing a chaotic gunfight to erupt on the streets. In the mayhem, Santiago is tragically shot and killed, and Kate goes missing. Brandon spots the address Father Carlos provided to Kate and decides to pursue her. Meanwhile, Kate, venturing alone to the streets, knocks on the door. A woman answers but refuses to communicate. Before Kate can react, she's attacked and thrown around by the assailants. Just as the situation turns dire, Brandon intervenes, swiftly eliminating the assailants. However, one of Morales' men manages to escape, and unbeknownst to Kate, El Diablo's girl holds her at gunpoint. Brandon takes control of the situation, disarming El Diablo's woman and discovering a locket around her neck with a picture of her and El Diablo. Swiftly, he forwards the photo to Thomas, seeking to uncover the true identity of El Diablo. Brandon suspects an ambush, reinforcing the idea of a mole within their ranks, and decides he and Kate should operate discreetly. Agent Sampson disagrees, but Thomas stands firm, deeming it the best course of action. Seeking refuge, Kate turns to Father Carlos for a safe haven. However, Carlos warns them about the extent of Morales' connections, making it challenging to pinpoint the traitor. Days later, Thomas receives a report from Major Miller detailing the deaths of several of Morales' men via sniper shots, suspecting Brandon as the perpetrator. Concerned about Brandon's mounting kills, Thomas expresses worry. At their hideout, Brandon confides in Father Carlos, revealing his fears of ending up like the Marine who took his own life. Father Carlos advises Brandon to forgive himself, drawing from his own past as a reformed gangster, suggesting that change is possible. Morales confronts El Diablo and informs him about Brandon's attacks on his men. Surprisingly, Morales offers El Diablo a hefty sum to eliminate Brandon, indicating the escalating conflict between them. At the headquarters, the team uncovers El Diablo's identity as Enrique, a former Defense Force sniper-turned-agent. Sampson persistently voices concerns about Brandon and Kate's safety on the streets, urging to get them out of the country. However, Thomas and Major Miller acknowledge Brandon's progress and agree to grant him more time to continue his pursuit. Brandon and Kate receive a message from Father Carlos, summoning them to meet at his church, but they sense something amiss. Both cautiously make their way to the church, where Brandon senses El Diablo's presence. They take up positions across from the church, and Brandon prepares his rifle. As they observe, they witness the arrival of Morales' men. Shortly after their departure, Kate is shocked to discover Father Carlos hanging from a tree. Despite Kate's urge to rush to help him, Brandon warns her of El Diablo's watchful eye. Brandon successfully shoots the rope that holds Father Carlos, revealing his position to El Diablo, who then takes the shot, killing Father Carlos. The following day, both Kate and Brandon attend a poignant funeral for Father Carlos. During the ceremony, Brandon spots one of Morales' men and pursues him as he attempts to escape. Brandon corners him, disarms him, and reassures the shaken man that he will protect him. With the man's help, Kate's team locates Morales' hideout and apprehends him without resistance. Kate confronts Morales about Father Carlos' murder, vowing to make his life a torment. Morales is scheduled to be transported to the U.S. for trial, but Brandon fears that El Diablo won't let him reach his destination safely. Meanwhile, El Diablo successfully infiltrates the U.S. unnoticed. Morales is placed in protective custody, while El Diablo collaborates with an insider in the U.S., arranging for a car equipped with 3 laser-guided projectiles. Brandon informs Samson that the man in the hood is a decoy, and a cleaning van will transport the real Morales as the team gets ready to escort him to trial. Positioned and waiting, El Diablo receives a text, and as the cleaning van approaches, he fires and destroys it. Gangsters arrive in cars, unleashing gunfire on the van. Brandon's team retaliates, hoping to draw El Diablo's attention. El Diablo takes another shot at the van, which helps Kate spot him. Brandon composes himself and takes the shot, killing him. Shockingly, it's revealed that Morales was actually in the decoy convoy. The empty van stuns Samson, prompting Brandon and the team to turn on him and hold him at gunpoint. Samson confesses that they struck a deal with Morales to prevent a dirty bomb from crossing the border, providing him with weapons but never intending for the weapons to be used against their own people. Kate, furious, punches Samson in the face. Samson is taken into custody, and Thomas believes that despite the complications, their collaboration was successful. Thomas plans to retire and go back to fishing, bidding an emotional farewell to Brandon as he walks away. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.